been a while since I've seen you all. Obviously, first things first, my surgery went really well. It did take a while for me to recover. I had a couple of infections, hence it's been a little while. I kind of ran out of pre-recorded stuff and just really didn't feel up to doing new videos quite yet. I did get a bit of sewing done though, because it was probably one of the first things I could actually get back to, so that was nice. And obviously I've been having to make small and kind of quick makes, and in some cases stuff that I'd already either done before or I'd already prepared the pattern before, because getting down on my hands and knees and kind of cutting things out and tracing things out, it was a bit tricky. So yeah, small things, so I wasn't down on my hands and knees too much. Worked out quite well. So, but firstly what I made was something that I could kind of sit and do. It wasn't actually sewing, it was something that I could sit and do whilst I really wasn't able to do much else of anything. The first couple of weeks were mostly bed rest, definitely no sewing. So I did knitting. I knitted a scarf. No, there's nothing, just something that was very easy. I just did, I think it's called a garter stitch, where you just literally, I think, knit every row, so that it kind of purls and knits and purls and knits on one side. That's what it ends up looking like, which is quite nice. It's quite stretchy and malleable, which you can, I'll insert a video so you can see all the different ways you can kind of mess about and wear it. And I tried to make it a little bit longer, so that I could kind of wear it in different ways, and also because my son thought it looked like Tom Baker, Doctor Who's kind of scarf, because it's striped. But yeah, it was a really good project. Obviously I was taking a lot of painkillers, so I didn't want anything that I couldn't, I mean, I'm not that expert anyway, but I can read a knitting pattern, and I could probably, I've made a jumper in the past, I definitely made loads of scarves, but I just wanted something that I could just sit and do whilst I was kind of watching something else, and I could kind of pick up and put down as and when. So this is my scarf. Bear with me, I'll tell you. So the wool I used for that was called, it was an old one. I bought it, I think, a couple of years ago at Hobbycraft, and they had them on sale. So I just bought a load of them. I wasn't quite sure what I'd do with them, but this is what it's called. It's called Patterns Morocco, and it's a cotton, polyester, polyamide and acrylic mix. So that's, even though it's backwards in that, I think, but you can see anyway. And it's good because you can stick it in the washing machine. You don't have to dry clean it. You just dry it flat. So yeah, it's nothing too complicated. Simple scarf, but I love the colour. It's nice and bright and cheery. It's actually light enough because it's quite, if you can see it, I did it on quite large needles so that it's pretty kind of aerated, so I can wear it in springtime. I think I can get away with wearing it in autumn. And yeah, it's I'm really chuffed with it. So that was my first make. That was my convalescence make. My second make I'm actually wearing. If you remember in the last video, I had this kind of geometric ponte remnant. It was only about 30 centimetres. It was really small, and I wasn't quite sure what to make with it. And I actually, Healer from Saturday Night Stitch YouTube channel, she, around the same time I'd just done my haul video, she actually put up a video where she'd think, is it like a Bristol sewing meetup? But she did a video with a haul that she'd done, and she said she'd found a remnant fabric, and she actually ended up wearing it just as a scarf as is. And I thought that was brilliant, and I actually thought this would work really, really well with that. So that is what I was going to do with it. However, when I came to, I was going to back it with just some of this kind of knit. I've been making tons out of this knit this month, but I was going to back it with that. And when I went to do it, I found there was actually a hole in the fabric part way in, and also some of the edges had kind of unravelled, so it kind of limited it even more as to what I could do with it. So I actually ended up, and I've made a few of these before, which was a Seamwork magazine Aurora top. So I'll insert a video so you can see the up downs and all arounds of it. But if you see, it's just literally like a contrasting yoke, and then you attach the main body front and back section to it. Pretty simple, quick make. I did cover stitch the hems and the line and neckline. You probably can't see very much in this light, but I actually clipped into it as well, because if you see it, the hemline is really, really, really narrow. Well, the neckline, it's very narrow, so it's only about that much you're supposed to turn under. So what I did, and I found this out after my first one, which was a bit of a nightmare. Like I said, I made a couple last year, and I found Wonder tape, Prim Wonder tape, which is like double-sided sticky tape for fabric, and then once you put it in the washing machine it kind of dissolves. But what I do is I just kind of Wonder tape around the edge, turn it under. It actually gives the exact right amount as well, which is good. And that kind of holds it in place, and it also stabilises it, because the cover stitch, especially on, this is quite a flimsy, if you can see, it's quite a flimsy drapey knit, but the cover stitch can kind of tunnel if it's not stabilised properly. So I find that helps with that, and also I end up using a thinner cover stitch, a narrow cover stitch on drapier knits, because it tunnels a little bit less. So so yeah, if you haven't tried it, I would highly recommend this pattern, especially if you do have any little offcuts or from knit fabrics or anything that you really like, and you know, you've got a big enough offcut that it seems a bit of a waste and you don't really know what else to do with it. This is a wonderful top for that. I may very well do it with my next make. I may very well use the excess I've got from that fabric to make another one of these, although I think I might have enough to make my son a little t-shirt, so I might do that instead. So anyway, my second make, since I'm talking about it, is this one. Now, pretty much I think everybody in the sewing world knows a grain line Linden when they see it. When I saw this fabric, and it's very rare, I'm, like so many people, a bit of a fabric hoarder. I see beautiful fabrics, I love them, I buy them, I leave them on the side, in a cupboard, wherever, and it takes ages for my brain to decide what to do with them. This fabric was one of those rare times where I saw it and I knew exactly what I wanted to do with it, to the point of with the contrasting arms and everything. So I actually only bought a metre of this fabric. I think it's already sold out everywhere, because when I went to go, it was actually the last colourway they had. I think they had 3 or 4 colourways. This was at Guthrie and Garney. I'll put a link down below. But this was the last colourway they had, which personally was my favourite anyway, because I think it quite suits me. But yeah, I I don't know if they're going to get any more in, but if not, it's like a loop back cotton jersey, if you can see it, and it's got origami cranes all over it, which is personal memories of origami cranes, because I still do it now, where I make it for the kids I work with. It's one of the origami things that I used to make when I was a child that I still remember off by heart. So if I'm ever sitting and fiddling with my hands, I will happily make origami cranes. And they actually, you can hold them and they flap when you do it. So yeah, I really love this. The fit's great. I think if I make another Linden though, I might bring the neckline up just a touch, because I don't think I actually stretched this one out, and I did use nice ribbing on it, but the neckline always is a bit wide on the Linden, so I might I found it on a couple of the things too, so I might do that. And then it's just an organic normal cotton interlock for the arms. But yeah, obviously everybody knows about this pattern really. Like I said, I didn't really adjust it much. I think I added 2 inches to the length, and that was really it. And I think it fits pretty well. So, third make, I actually had quite a busy month and a half, I think, given that I was incapacitated for a good part of it. But yeah, I caught up. My third make, I suppose I'll leave this one, are actually, you'll have to see them on the video because I am wearing them, but they're on my bottom half. Like I said, I've made a lot of this. I don't know if it's a poly knit, I think it's probably a viscose single knit jersey. So it's like t-shirt weight jersey. It's got really good stretch and recovery, but I bought it from the Birmingham Rag Market probably a couple of years ago, and I think I must have bought about 4 or 5 meters. So I've made quite a bit. I need to buy some more because my daughter wants leggings now. So yeah, I'm going to get some more if they have this one or something very similar, and make her some leggings. But anyway, she tried these leggings on, and she's quite high, like waisted, so she needs a lot more of a rise, and she's also like 6'2", 6'3", which I'm sure I've told you before. So I need to adjust the pattern to give her more below waist area, so I need a higher rise for her. But the length actually for her, because it's supposed to be, I made the version that is the high-waisted version with the scrunchy legs. So it's supposed to be excess fabric kind of gathering at the ankles. For her, obviously, it doesn't gather at the ankles very much, but it's the perfect length. So I'm not going to need to adjust it too much for that. It gathers at the ankles for me, and I quite like that. Normally leggings, I've never found leggings that I've ever enjoyed wearing. They definitely too short in the rise for me usually, and often too short in the leg as well. And I find that the same with tights, that very quickly they kind of start pulling down, and it's just not fun having to constantly pull everything up and to feel comfortable. So yeah, 2 pattern pieces I think for the Virginia, Meghan Nielsen Virginia leggings, which was part of the Sew My Style challenge that's been running, that I've been doing. This was actually March's one, but I didn't quite get to finish March's because obviously I then had to go into surgery. I had cut it out by that point, but I couldn't, I just didn't get time to sew them up. So so yeah, I sewed them up now, and they literally two pieces. So it's like 1 leg pattern piece and 1 waistband, so you cut 2 legs. So you literally There's no seam on the side here, so you're literally closing the legs up and sewing them down the kind of crotch area, and then sticking the two legs together and whacking on the waistband, and obviously you hem the bottom and stick some elastic in. They're that simple and quick. I mean, you could probably make some in about half an hour. There you go, there's another hour challenge for someone. I reckon you could probably do them in half an hour if they were already cut out. But anyway, yeah, they're really, really comfy. Not much to say otherwise, but they're definitely the nicest leggings that I've ever had. So, and I don't normally wear leggings, but I think I'll actually wear these. So yeah, there you go. Right, my next make would be this would be April's Sew My Style challenge, which was the Bridgetown dress by Sew Has 7. It's a backless dress. Now you can either make it in wovens or knits. I decided to actually make it in a knit, and you can make a dress version or a dress version with a contrasting band, a tunic, or a tunic with a contrasting band. Now the contrasting band one, they do suggest that you do that mainly in wovens. I think it probably work much better in wovens anyway. It'll probably sit a bit funny with knits. I don't know though. But anyway, I made the knit one. I didn't make it with a contrasting band, and I made it as a tunic because I don't often wear dresses, but if I do, I don't want them to be too fitted. I don't mind them being fitted at the waist, but you know, I've had 2 babies. They weren't small babies, and they were both late, so you know, by the end of it I was pretty darn big, and so was my belly, and it's never gone back to the same shape. And it's not, I'm not as uncomfortable with it as I used to be, and obviously with the endometriosis that I had, that caused a lot of problems with it as well. So it's my sensitive area that I don't really want to kind of flash to the whole world or highlight. So I like slightly less fitted dress, or cinched in at the waist, fit and flare dresses maybe, because you know, I've still got a waist. Maybe in a few years I won't have one anymore. I'm sure that comes with age, but enjoy it. Anyway, so that, it comes with an elasticated waist to kind of give it a blouson effect. So if you can see it there, it's actually, if you look at it inside, you can see you kind of just sew the bodice and the bottom half together, and then you actually sew a bit further in, and that's what you make, a kind of channel for the elastic. So I will insert a video here of this dress. So this is the actual other side. If you can see how it's quite open. It's very hard to see with it being black. There we go. So you can see that's supposed to be the back of the dress. So you actually wear it that way, with the back being open. But you can turn it around. So you can actually wear it with the back at the front, which I do suggest you wear it with something underneath, because otherwise you'd be flashing your ladies at everybody. Nobody wants that really. Well, actually I can probably think of half of the population who probably do, but anyway. Right, I actually sized down one size because I made this in a knit. And it's a pretty good fit. They do suggest, if you're going to make it in a knit, to adjust your sizing, so I just sized down one size. I would have, for them, done it in a 14 for a woven, so I did it in a 12 for a knit, and that worked out perfectly. Again, I cover stitched the neckline. It's actually a neckline band that you kind of add on. So if you can see it. And the sleeves are actually, it's a separate piece that you add on, which are kind of quite cute actually. I've really, to be honest, so far with these challenges for Sew My Style, I've loved them all a lot more than I thought I would. This was one of the Sew House 7 things that I didn't buy initially because I wasn't sure whether I'd like it. And, you know, backless for me, although I do like backless, my back is, it's not what it used to be when it was 20 years old. And as much as I'd like to walk around with lots of backless stuff, when I actually look at my own reflection in the mirror, my back doesn't look like a young, sleek, wonderful back. It looks like a very middle-aged back, and it's all right, but you know, if I'm wearing a swimming costume or something like that, it's fair enough. But I think if you're going to make certain parts of you the centerpiece, you want it to be what you feel most comfortable with and what you feel is the most flattering part of you, I think. I think my legs are my most flattering part. So generally, especially my bottom half of my legs, you know, if I'm going to make a statement, that generally tends to be it, or just my height in general. But my back, not so much. But I don't mind wearing it with the top underneath. I think I might actually make a separate, like, tunic or something in maybe even a slightly glitzier fabric, which I think would be kind of cute, because then you just get little flashes of, you know, I don't know, sequins or gold or whatever I make it in. So yeah, we'll see. Right, so great pattern. If you haven't tried it, do give it a try. If you're young and you've got a great back, definitely give it a try. I think it'll be stunning on you. And if you're older, still give it a go, because you can wear a top underneath. So if you're not so comfortable with showing your back, it's all good. Anyway, my final make of last month was that. You saw that fabric on my last haul, and I wasn't sure what to make of it. But like I said, I was at the quandary of not wanting to make anything too complicated, and anything that would stress my body too much. So I ended up choosing the Sew Over It kimono. This is one of their PDF club patterns, I think, and yeah, they suggest something drapier, rayon, or something slightly sheer, or maybe silky, maybe satin or silk or something like that. I ended up making it in the cotton lawn, because, like I said, I wanted to make something out of this fabric. I wasn't quite sure what, but I wanted to make something with it where, because I liked the print so much and I thought it was so pretty, I wanted to make something that I was going to wear quite often. And if I made a dress, I'd only wear it as a dress, and that would probably be once in a while. I still have enough, so I may make the wrap blouse with it or something else, or I may make a dress with it anyway. But I figured if I did a kimono, then I'd wear it quite often. And because of my surgery, obviously I've gone into what they call surgical menopause, which means I'm getting all the crazy hot flushes and things like that. And it's just crazy. I mean, literally 1 second I'm freezing. 10 seconds later, it feels like there's a burning inferno inside me. And it's just, ugh. Oh, yeah. They suggest HRT, but you hear so many horror stories about side effects and everything else, so I don't know. But anyway, so I thought if I made this, cotton's quite breathable, this is nice and loose, I can take it off, but at the same time there's enough structure to it that it will stop me getting too chilled as well. So that was my theory behind that. And also the pattern's quite simple, so it was easy for me to sew, and there was also quite a bit of hand sewing in it. So when it was too much for me to be sitting at the machine, I could just sit nice and quietly, and I hand sewed all of the neckband all the way down to the bottom, and I also hand stitched all of the hems. So if you can see it, I mean, if you have a look, you can't actually see it because, yeah, I think I did a pretty good job of that. But yes, so I hand sewed every bit that I could, and it was nice. It was really, really relaxing. I didn't think I'd enjoy it as much as I did, but I think I might hand sew quite a lot more from now on. It's quite good when you want to take a little break, or you're sitting and watching something else. You can just sit there and hand sew, and yeah, it's, you can do it anywhere really, so that's good. I do think this can look a little bit like a hospital scrubs, because there's so much green. From a distance it looks a little bit hospital scrubby, but I find if I wear it with all black, actually it works quite well, so that's okay. And to be honest, I don't really care anyway. I really, really like this fabric. I think it's very, very pretty, so yeah, I think I'm going to get quite a lot of wear out of it. I didn't make pretty much any adjustments. I think the most I did was I didn't do the hem quite as deep as they suggested, just a little bit shallower, but not by much, because it's still quite a good length on me, and again, I'm about 5'10", so usually I do tend to need to lengthen everything, so this is pretty good. I might possibly lengthen the sleeves next time a bit, because I'd probably quite like to try one with longer sleeves, but that really depends. I'm making it again already. I will show you, if I've got anything left of the fabric, I'll show you some of the fabric for, you know, possibly what I'm going to make next month, or this month, sorry. But I've already cut out one for my daughter, because she wanted a sheer one, so that's already cut out, so that's on my to-do list for this month. And yeah, I will get back to you on that, because I have a lot of study to do, and a few things that I need to get done this month, so we shall see. But anyway, thank you for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this. If you did, do feel free to click like, or subscribe. If you have subscribed and you've come back after my little long period of rest, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. And again, thank you everybody for your well wishes. That's, you know, it really, really is appreciated. But yeah, really hope you have a lovely day, week, weekend, whenever you're watching this. And yeah, I'll see you again, hopefully a lot sooner than I did last time. Okay, bye.